Every developer must create content. In today's world, developers are not just the coders. They need to create content, they need to produce a lot of articles, they need to create videos, they need to connect, they need to build network. So when we start doing content creation, there are a lot of stuff that goes around. You will be hearing a lot of things about content creation. Some of the things are really true, some of the things could be myth. So this video is specifically created for you to demystify certain myth that might come across while you start creating content. The intention here is that you learn from some of the experiences that I have gained, and so that you clearly know that when you embark on your journey for content creation, what are the things that you should avoid and what you need to keep in mind. Hey, this is Tapas. I'm a content creator, a writer, and YouTuber who kind of share knowledge using the content. So I would like to educate you about content creation to make sure that you start your journey as well. Alright, so in the rest of the video, we are going to start seeing some of the myths versus reality. Let us get started with the test for you. So I'm going to show you a few pictures and ask you to guess which one is myth versus which one is reality. I'll of course tell you like what is myth versus reality for this picture, but this is just like kind of warm up, right? So one thing is like all the images that I've used in this particular video is taken from internet. Those are not created by me, so I don't actually ask for any credit for those. Those are, credit goes to everybody who has created those images. So let's get started with the first test. The first test talk about two images. One of them says like drinking beer can make you overweight, and the other one is saying it's not. So which one is reality, which one is myth? Okay, till the time I have seen this image, I used to feel like drinking beer is actually making me overweight, but that's not the case. It's a big relief. It's actually a myth. The reality part is like the low, along with low fat beer, the kind of fatty snacks we take, that makes us overweight. So be careful about that. The next one is talk about, if you want to catch up your sleep, you can actually catch up your sleep on weekend. Another one says that no, you need actually proper 7 to 8 hours of sleep. We know, right? But as a developer, we always ignore. We know like which one is myth, which one is reality. Now the last one. There are two images. In one, it says that bull react aggressively to the color red. The other one says no, that's not the fact. It's basically it because the people move, and that's what they probably get agitated, I used to think like red color really used to kind of provoke them, but that's not true, which is a myth. Actual reality is the people movement, right? So now we know what is myth, what is reality. Myth is something that you feel is real, but it's not real. Reality is actually what is the truth and the fact. All right. So let's talk about content creation and the reality and myths. But before that, let's talk about content. What is content? Content is nothing but a piece of work, which can be of the form of written, video, or spoken, that you deliver to some consumer who consume that for enhancing their knowledge, for enhancing their information intake, right? So that is what is content. So it's a written content. The form could be blog, it can be threads. If you're on Twitter, people keep writing Twitter threads. It can be some short articles and things like that. If it's a video, it can be YouTube video, the one that you're watching right now. It can be vlog, it can be some kind of streaming. If it is spoken, it can be podcast. So these are various kinds of content. But apart from that, also like you see things like on Instagram, the photos, on the Facebook post, LinkedIn post, everything that you see that people create for somebody to consume is content. So everything around you is content. Content is very important. Content is king today, right? Now, we need to understand what is the myth versus reality in content. What is really true that you need to keep in mind so that you go by that, versus what is really myth so that it doesn't stop you from creating content. That's the whole purpose of knowing myths versus reality. Okay, so let's see that. The first check. It's hard to find a topic. Is it a myth or reality? It's actually a myth. It is not that hard to find a topic to create content. If you're a developer or doing any kind of work, you are basically solving some problem in your real life, in your professional life. If you want to create content, you can create content with all the solutions that you're finding out for the problem. You solve the problem for your friend, for a user, for your customer. It can be a great topic for your content creation to start with. Something that you really want to share, something that you want to passionately learn, something that you are actually learning, it's a topic. If you are a student and really listening to me, or watching this video and don't create a content, it's for you as well. You can actually start creating content immediately, right? Whatever you are learning in your academics, in your college, you can find topic from that and start learning. Don't worry about that the topic is already present, somebody has created, somebody has not created. Doesn't matter really. Start creating your content on the topic that you think works best. It is going to work for everyone, including you. So the myth is it's hard to find a topic. The reality is it's not hard to find a topic. Let's move to the next one. We need to know English well. What do you think, myth or reality? It's a myth again. As a content creator, myself, who is a non-English speaker, who doesn't know English too well, I've been creating content for last 4 years, and I've never faced a problem as such. You really no need to know English very, very well, the grammar, the punctuations, the spellings and things like that. There are tools for you to kind of take care of it. There are a bunch of tools. I've covered in the previous videos about this tooling. Please have a check, have a look into that in the content creation playlist. But if you know the basic English and then you start creating your content, run your content through those tools, I think that's going to be it. That's all you need to do. You don't have to really know English really well for creating content. All right. So this is another myth. You got to be an expert? No, I was talking about the students. Like if you are a student and not creating content, you should start creating content. For example, if you're learning DSA and doing some kind of practice on lead code or somewhere, start creating content of what you're learning from solving that problem. What DSA part you really cracked. You understood linked list well, you understood stack well or array well. Just go ahead and start creating content about that. Don't worry whether the content is already existing or not. You are unique. Your content is going to be unique. You don't have to be an expert to get started. You just need to feel for getting started for doing content creation. So please get started. Perfect content fetches audience. Perfect content. Does it exist? What is perfect? Is perfection is reality? No, perfection is myth, because something is perfect for you may not be perfect for me, right? Or vice versa. So there is nothing called a perfect content. A content is something which is going to solve somebody's problem, is going to address some problems that someone is kind of facing with. It is going to increase the wisdom, knowledge for somebody. That's what the content is, and that's what you should be focusing on. Don't wait to create that perfect content which you think is very, very perfect and then only kind of take it out to the mass. No, that's not the thing. Once the content is created, you have delivered what you wanted to deliver. Just go for it. Don't try to refine it too much to become perfect. So it's a myth. Earning from content creation is easy. It's not actually. So if you're just getting started and your aim is monetization, my friend, you will be upset with content creation journey. It's not the case. Content creation journey is of 3 phases. One phase is the hobby, the way that you started. Okay, I have to start creating content. I have to start sharing my knowledge. The next phase is called habit, where you start doing content creation consistently. It become your habit. You're doing it frequently. People start noticing you. You are getting a growth. You are getting a lot of limelight because of your content creation. Then you think about monetization. Then the monetization come into picture. So that's probably towards the last step, not the beginning stage. And it is not easy at a beginner. So you have to keep doing it. Then only you start seeing the light of monetization. And once you start, it really goes well. That I can actually talk about. It really kind of goes well. So earning from content creation is easy is a myth. It is not that easy. The content length matters. The content length matters, does it? No, really, because in YouTube shorts works very well. In YouTube long videos also work. In case of article, the tutorial, step-by-step tutorials works very well. Also, there are bite-size, news also work very well. So the content length really doesn't matter much. What matters basically the meat in the content. The content itself is matter a lot. At the same time, if the length is so big that it can be a book, for example, an ebook or a physical book, then it really matters to have it like in just one content. In that case, you want to kind of break it into multiple chapters, series, and things like that, right? So that's what another myth is: content creation. In content creation, the content length basically. You need to be an expert to promote your content. Okay, So once you create content, you also need to promote, and you may not have enough money to afford a team that will promote the things for you. You have to do this promotion of yourself. How do you do the promotion? There is various social media platforms like Twitter, LinkedIn, Showcase, various platform. There are various content creation platform, like you have YouTube, you have some streaming platform, you have various blogging platform. So based on the type of content you are creating, make sure that you syndicate them, means you are actually pushing those content in various this platform, talk about them various ways, like what this particular content is for, what kind of problem it solves, just talk about them. So you don't have to be an expert to promote your content. You just need to create account in all of these things, consistently create content, constantly share about them, multiple time share. If you shared once in last month, next month again share the content that you shared in the last month. You have new followers, you have new audiences to look into, so it's always helpful, right? So you don't have to be an expert. Content creation is easy? Really? No, content creation is not easy at all. Content creation require good amount of research. Even with the help of a lot of AI tools nowadays, with ChatGPT, Notion AI, and things like that, which makes content creation a bit easier from the outside, but still you have to do the final touch. You have to bring the humanness into that, and then you have to actually make sure this content is going out. Otherwise, the content that you will be taking out may not be of good quality that actual human will enjoy reading it, right? So content creation research, then putting into the frame, then putting the tools around it, finally doing a review, and then publishing it outside. That's the whole cycle and strategy that need to be in place. So this is real myth if you say that content creation is easy. Anyone can create content. What do you think? It's a myth or it's a reality? That's the reality. That's not a myth. Anyone can create content. If you have something to share, any platform, be it Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Showcase, LinkedIn, anywhere, it's the content basically. Or write a blog, create a video, it's the content. So anybody can create content. If you believe that the content creation is not for you, that's the myth. The reality actually is the content creation is for everyone, and anyone can create content. So we went through bunch of myth, we went through bunch of reality, only one reality though, and bunch of myth. So now if you hear any of this thing, you know which one is actually true versus which one is not true. This is all from my own experience that I can actually share. So if you have not started content creation yet, it's the time, my friend. Get started with content creation immediately. You will enjoy this process. And if you want to talk more, like how to get started, you have more queries and things like that, these are the places that I am usually available. You can always get connected. I'll be happy to kind of help you. So yeah, let's get in touch. With that, this video comes to an end. I'll be coming up with another video on the content creation playlist in future, but for now, you can, if you have not looked back all other videos from this playlist, please go ahead and start looking into it. I'm sure that's going to motivate and inspire you to start doing content creation. Okay, take care of yourself.